All right, let's dive right in. Today we're talking about a really powerful idea. And I mean, this is so much more than just a nice thought. It's a real practical tool for making your way through our pretty divided world.
This isn't some new age concept. It's an idea that's ancient. From the Upanishads saying, "Thou art that," to Confucius and, of course, the Golden Rule, this concept is like a golden thread that runs through thousands of years of human wisdom. It really makes you think. We've been wrestling with this same fundamental truth for centuries.
But here's the thing, this is not just about being nice. We're going to dig into how this ancient wisdom can actually be a powerful, conscious practice, one that can totally reshape how you see yourself and, yeah, everyone around you.
So, to really get its power, we have to look past the familiar golden rule. We've got to uncover the urgent and honestly pretty radical core of this idea. Okay, so the biggest hurdle we have to get over with this practice is something called the fundamental illusion of separateness. You know that feeling, right? That I am in here in my head and you are out there. So, at the very heart of breaking down that illusion is recognizing this thing called shared interiority. It's a simple but absolutely world-changing realization that behind every single pair of eyes is a universe of thoughts and feelings just as complex, just as real, and just as valid as your own. I think this slide is just fascinating. It breaks down two totally different ways we can relate to the world. The philosopher Martin Buber called them I-it and I-thou. In an I-it relationship, a person is just a function, right? A cashier, a driver, maybe just a political label. But in an I-thou relationship, we see them as a complete self, a center of their own universe. And that shift from seeing people as an it to a thou forces us to ask this really tough question. It challenges those lines we instinctively draw between our group and their group, our side and their side. So why is this practice so incredibly important right now, especially in our modern world of echo chambers and, let's be honest, intense polarization? Well, we're living through a time of really deep division. In fact, some studies show that a staggering 75% of people feel their country is more divided than it's ever been. And this is being fueled by algorithms that are literally designed to reinforce our biases, building these digital walls between us and anyone with a different point of view. But here's the wild part. Our own biology, our brains, are actually built for connection, not division. Scientists have discovered these things called mirror neurons, and they are incredible. They don't just fire when we do something, they fire when we see someone else do it. So when you see a friend smile, a part of your brain is literally smiling right along with them. We are biologically wired for empathy. And empathy isn't just one thing. There's cognitive empathy. That's just intellectually getting someone's perspective. Then you have affective empathy, which is actually feeling their emotion. But seeing others as yourself, that calls for something deeper. It calls for compassionate empathy, which brings together both understanding and feeling, and it's what pushes us toward real, genuine connection. Okay, so this all sounds great in theory, but how do we actually do it? How do we put it into practice? Let's get into a practical toolkit that we can all start using. Look, this isn't some abstract goal. There are concrete things you can do every single day to strengthen this empathetic muscle. It all kicks off with self-awareness, then it moves to really, truly listening, then to cultivating a genuine curiosity, and finally, just remembering that core vulnerabilities, fear, hope, disappointment, that's stuff we all share. Now, this is so, so crucial to understand. Practicing empathy does not mean you have to agree with everyone. It doesn't mean you have to excuse harmful behavior. It is absolutely not about endorsement. Instead, it's about the truly radical act of understanding. It's about separating a person's inherent worth from their actions or their beliefs. And this famous quote from To Kill a Mockingbird just captures that idea perfectly. It's all about the effort to see from someone else's perspective. And when we really commit to this practice, it doesn't just change how we see other people. It actually leads to this profound realization about ourselves and our place in the whole world. We start to see that our individual identities, our stories, our beliefs, our wins and losses, they're like distinct waves. They are completely real, they're important, but they all fundamentally come from the exact same source. We are all expressions of a single, shared existence. Yeah, we're distinct, but we are fundamentally deeply interconnected. So, What's the big takeaway here? What does this all mean for us? Well, the final powerful idea is this. When we dissolve those walls of separation, we don't lose ourselves, not at all. We actually expand. We find a more authentic, a more compassionate, and a more resilient humanity. Because in the end, when we truly learn to see another person, we are also, finally, seeing ourselves.